This is for the creators.
Coming to the stage, we have
the Tailormade!
Yay!
Yo.
Choking on an offer, right? Sorry.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, thanks
How
for
are
coming
we?
in, guys.
No worries at all.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for providing some.
In the same. We've both said the same stuff.
What did you say?
I said thanks for having us. You said thanks for.
You're a polite lad. Your mum's brought you up well. Cheers.
Yes, guys, so today we have the Tailormade in with us. And they are an indie pop band. Is that the right way to describe you?
Yeah, I think so.
What's that indie pop
I've
band?
been called a lot of things, so that's actually the nicest.
Yeah.
So then my next question is, what is the indie pop band?
Good question.
Basically, we're just a pop little group that have guitars, so we call it indie to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a better way to describe it.
Yeah, no, it's not poppy in the sense that we are Steps or Kylie Minogue, and we're not indie enough in this fact that we're kind of Arctic Monkeys. Indie pop is a little bit spinning around on the dance floor.
Scouting for girls style, but maybe even less pop than that.
Yeah.
Somewhere where we sit around.
And you guys, did you start out busking?
We
that
did.
right?
We did, yeah. We went busking around Europe. Yeah, we finished uni and we were doing anything to not get real jobs, as you do. And then we went busking around Europe just to, well, it was kind of travelling, but with a guitar, and then kind of picked up extra beer money and stuff. And we took some really awful CDs. I feel sorry for about 200 people that we sold them to.
I got a message off someone the other week, like, still got your CD, still listen to it. I'm like,
True.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, the story was we went to record that, and we did it in London when we were up at university in Carlisle. We came down to London to record it, and we thought that, like, now looking back, it was stupid. We spent like months recording now, and we did 6 tracks in one night.
And put that all on the CD?
Yeah. And we were drunk.
Yeah, it was overnight. We're drunk. Like, half of it was like, I'd be asleep underneath the desk, and I'd get woken up and someone would be like, you need to go and play now. And I'd be like, you need to do one. I just want to go to sleep.
Like 4 in the morning, and my voice has gone with screaming. It's so bad, honestly.
Why did you do it all in one night?
Idiots, and it was free.
Yeah, it was free, so we just thought, why
Were you
not?
trying to capitalise
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, we
free
didn't
studio?
really know what we were doing.
Is that right at the start of your career? Or?
Yeah.
That was
literally,
literally
like-
couldn't have been any.
What was it called? The borderline offensive.
Yeah, we called it borderline offensive. It wasn't even slightly offensive,
No.
so we just thought we were ghetto. That was basically it.
Wait, do you remember some of the lines?
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, no, it was actually just offensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you guys, you won the Best Buskers Award.
Yeah.
You were presented by Boris Johnson.
Oh,
Like
don't
the
say his
Mayor of
name.
London.
Don't
Yeah.
say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
I
let's
was about
not.
to say the
Yeah.
Boris Johnson.
He is the Voldemort of society now. It's like he who must not be.
I
named.
still like him. When we met him once, and he was lovely, and we gave
He's
him
a nice
some, we
guy,
gave him some
just-
jelly
he-
beans. Didn't
Yeah.
Just mental.
Actually, like the Chuckle Brothers, but you wouldn't put them in charge of the country, would you?
we? Well, not.
Mate,
Oh, yeah. Well,
Slightly offensive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not joking.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
still-
it was fresh in my head because I called you two the Chuckle Brothers earlier.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. I still got that video of him tackling that like 6-year-old Japanese kid.
Yeah.
and it's still my
I've
favourite
lost
thing in the world.
so many hours just watching videos of Boris Johnson.
There's the zipline one as well, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big hat.
Yeah.
He does it in a suit, doesn't he?
Well, then, when we
he's
met
in
him, they were
London.
just screaming. They were like, "Whatever you do, don't give him a guitar."
No, it was a Yuki.
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
it?
Ukulele, yeah.
and then they were like, "Give him the uke," and Aaron just crumbled, gave him the ukulele, and then
There was about
that
50
was it.
people.
That's what made the paper.
Was it on
like,
camera?
yeah, no, it was about 50 people, like world media and stuff. We didn't really know why we were there, and then we were like briefed by the Mayor of London's press office and stuff, and they was like, whatever you do, don't give him the ukulele. It was like, just refuse. They're going to ask you, just refuse. Don't do it. And then you get there and 50 people are shouting at you, give him the uke. And I'm going, nah, it's okay. Give him the uke. And they get really
You've got
aggressive.
no willpower, have
So
you?
I gave him the uke. And then, as you're probably aware, there's about 1 million photos now of Boris Johnson with a ukulele and everyone's just calling him stupid.
But wasn't it the year before he had the capo?
Yeah, he had the capo and then he had his
Yeah.
hand behind it. So obviously that's stupid. People like to get stupid shots of Boris. So
Yeah.
maybe he's not actually as stupid as people think.
Can't be that stupid if he managed to get to that position.
No.
So,
Yeah, I
Great
like
PR.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him as a
Tackling
person,
these kids.
but maybe not as a politician.
As a prime minister, he had my vote.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it
a-
doesn't work like that. But
it's funny because sometimes, like, you prefer to see people who are just genuine in themselves. I think most of the times, maybe some other MPs are just as silly as him,
Theresa
but
May.
they put on an act. But
holding
at
a
least,
piece-
at least he just
Theresa May, yeah,
he was just himself.
isn't she?
she's good at dancing.
I was about to say that. That might be my most creative thing of the week that I've seen.
Theresa May, she's
Just
a
the
crow.
attempt, the attempt
It's so
at dance.
Oh yeah,
Oh mate.
she was. Oh,
We need
God.
to dub it to a Tailormade song.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say because other people have dubbed it to
Yeah.
different songs. Like, oh my days! Like, Have you seen the drum and bass one?
No.
Oh my god! I think this is so on time as well. Like they've clocked it. It's so funny. And
Nailed
yeah,
it.
her moves are just not on point whatsoever.
Back to the question.
Yeah, sorry,
What was the
we
question?
get
The
off
question
topic.
was because they won the award for the best
Yeah.
buskers in London. So was that a competition that you entered and then
Yeah, so
you
we-
won it, or was that during the whole tour of Europe?
Jack
Maybe?
used to sit up until 3 a.m. entering us for random things. He'd be like, "Right, we're off."
I'm glad
to
that you
this
say
thing."
that. You used to say, yeah, Jack used to be up till 3 a.m. browsing the internet. It made me sound like a right pervert. Yeah, no, I know. I used to scour, like...
Is that not true as well?
No, it is true.
No, yeah.
No, I used to spend a lot of time on the internet, like looking for opportunities and things like that for us to do as a band. And I found this, and I was like, let's enter it.
We were that close to not going, weren't we?
Yeah, we'd just come back from Turkey on a holiday, and we were hungover, and we went, oh, let's not go. We went down, and then we.
Yeah, I still don't know. if
What did
we're-
it involve?
So you basically there's about 200 people who get accepted into the first stage, and then from that they get to busk at loads of different slots around London, and they set out loads of cool things. It's a couple of train stations. It's like St Paul's Cathedral and stuff like that. It's really really cool. So you go and busk at loads of different places, and then the top 5 people who are voted by like an industry set of judges,
Okay.
they make it to the final, and then one sort of wild card in each category, and then
It's
yeah,
a bit like the X Factor, but for real, like
You mean?
not. No, sorry. It's a bit like the X Factor
For
for
buskers.
buskers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's say
That
that.
makes sense.
It's amazing for like young talent and stuff though. It's absolutely amazing because
And the judges they get in, like, so we went and watched it the other week, and the judges there
It's
was
still going.
still going. It was
Yeah,
their
it
10th anniversary. The judges there were Newton Faulkner, someone from Radio 6, Abby McCarthy, who does Radio 1, was the
Is there a
presenter.
Radio 6?
Yeah,
Radio 6 is sick.
yeah.
Radio sick.
Yeah,
Radio
exactly.
6, sick.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Don't do that
quite,
again.
Quite well established.
Yeah.
judges.
So yeah, and
So what is the prize apart from being given an award by the
it's
mayor?
a job well done, great satisfaction.
It was for us.
You get a lot of media coverage.
Yeah.
We
So we
also
met
got-
Boris Johnson. We were on Gogglebox.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got studio time as well, but we didn't understand studios at the time. So we
Oh, they
didn't
just
use
stuck you in
it.
the studio.
No, we didn't
use
use
it.
it. I mean, you
Oh.
remember the other experience we were speaking about?
We
That
were
was
living-
like, we weren't very good at studios, so
We did. I think
Yeah.
the coolest thing we got to do was probably play the Brit Awards.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
What as Tailormade or
Yeah.
yeah, and I know it wasn't. It was like a pre-show party, and then we
Okay.
got to watch the awards, and then go to the after-show party.
So yeah, it creates more opportunities. then.
Pardon?
Yeah, I'd say that was
No,
yeah.
2015, the
15.
awards. But then from that, we managed to get playing the pre-show for Take That for a week or two, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's good.
quite nice.
yeah.
So then you went on to support some very big acts.
Yeah,
Did,
so that's
did
more-
was that off the back of that as well?
Nah, so we ended up doing a new EP, like an actual EP of music. Not what we
So
did
you,
the first
so you
time.
ended up in the studio then.
Yeah, we ended up in a studio. This one wasn't half as bad. We did
Is
that.
Thoughts and Beers?
Yeah, Thoughts, Fears and
Thoughts,
Beers.
Fears and Beers, yeah.
We
Yeah,
love
so
our titles, don't we?
Yeah.
we're not really good at naming albums and stuff.
And it sounds like what you were doing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Fears
yeah.
and Beers.
Do you know what? I think Thoughts,
authentic.
Fears and Beers is a great title for an EP.
It was Matt's idea. But yeah, we released that, did our own headline show at the O2 Islington. We managed to sell it. Yeah, we managed to sell that out, which at the time was crazy because we had no music. Like no music whatsoever, and we managed to build up a fan base just through busking, just through getting out there, just through
huge.
trying to. Yeah, so we did it kind of backwards without music. And then when we did that, we managed to get management, and our management's quite well connected. Managed to get us involved with loads of different people.
We got the call, and they were like, right, first thing you can do is you're going to go and support CeeLo Green. We were like,
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, we
Wicked.
saw him driving round town with a girlie. No, I'm sorry.
We ended up. We had the choice of either going to say hello to CeeLo Green or standing out at the front and selling our merchandise. So we obviously made the right choice as a band who's trying to get further and make money. When I did shots with Tequila,
He's a cool guy, though. You know?
Yeah, he seems it, man.
He's so cool. And we ended up like going backstage and was like, "Oh, can we go and see CeeLo?" And they're all being dead protective over him and going, "No, you can't. You've got to leave and stuff." And then we knocked on, and his manager was there and was like, "We've got him a birthday card. Can we?" And then
That's a good
and
one.
then they were like, "Okay, you can come in and say hello." And as soon as he walked in, he's like, "Sit down." He's like, "Yeah, I love your music."
That's the Tailormade boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
he's like,
Oh, so he knew your name.
yeah, he's giving a shot.
He was like, "Don't hug me. I'm too
I was about
sweady."
to say rule
I
number
did
one
it.
with CeeLo Green.
And then
do
he
not hug
hugged
after
him,
a
and he just
show.
had this
Right.
like bowling ball mark from where his head had been on his shirt. And he was like, "I don't care, it's CeeLo Green."
Straight.
That's
Cool guy,
insane.
though.
So what did he say about your music? Because he's one of the best songwriters in the world.
Yeah. He said he really enjoyed it. He was like, "Hey, if I'd known you guys proproperly before, you could have come on
Trying to
stage." And
Did he have the accent?
Where's he from? South America.
yeah.
No, but he gave us his number, his email. It was like, if you're ever in America,
I mean, he's
hit
not
me
returned
up.
our calls, so
No, we haven't called him. We've emailed, but
should we call him now?
I mean, it's an
That would
American.
be-
Do you wanna?
Yeah, put it on
Okay.
It's
loudspeaker.
not good at us.
Why
I don't
not?
know. It might.
Just do it.
If he just answered.
We would. You were meant to turn my phone off.
I'm actually
mine-
quite scared.
See what happens.
You've got to use the American dialing code, haven't you?
CeeLo Green, here we go.
Calling CeeLo Green live on For the Creators podcast. Never thought this would happen.
The person you are calling cannot accept calls at this time.
He gave you a wrong number. Mug.
I mean, he gave it.
Oh, sorry. It's upsetting, but it happened.
That said mum, actually.
Why she declined my call?
You know why.
That's something you're going to have to take up personally. Oh,
So how
dude.
did you guys? Because I read that you got headhunted by Radio 1 to do their breakfast show.
Yes, we did. We say headhunted. Yeah, we did get headhunted, but we kind of knew they were looking for someone, and we made sure we were in their way. So they did choose us, and they headhunted us, but we knew they were looking for someone, and we knew what they were looking for, so we
We just
stood
went
in
around breaking other buskers' legs.
No, we found out through the Busking London guys, and the guys we won the competition with. They were like, Radio 1 are looking for a house band to do a Beat the Busker. They've got to be fun, upbeat, enthusiastic, and put their own twists on songs. Like they've got to make songs tailor-made, and we were like, that's us.
Smacked
We were
it.
like, right, how do we do it? And she was like, don't worry, I put you guys forward and a couple of other names. We were like, I hope you put like other bad people.
So what does that actually mean? What do you do as the house band?
So we've done a couple of so whenever they do the busking stuff, basically we perform. So they get us. The last one was us getting challenged by people like James Arthur and the Vamps to like a busk off, and they'd have to dress up, and they'd be given like loads of makeup for about 3 hours.
Ah, I saw that. That was at Waterloo Station, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
James
so
Arthur.
we
I
went.
saw James
Yeah.
Arthur at Waterloo, was it?
Yeah, so it's down
it
at
wasn't
Waterloo.
last year. I think it was the year before that.
Yeah, I
maybe
think it was like November.
2016.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that one's had about 10 million hits now.
Wow.
No.
And then
We never talk about
we
it.
have to talk about it.
Can we
Go
talk
on.
about it?
So
'Cause we never
there's
talk
about
about it.
800 trolling comments on there.
About?
It's great. It's
So,
8 minutes 16.
actually, if this does reach you, James Arthur, this is what he did to me was so out of order. He doesn't know. He probably has no clue. But it was the most horrible thing. So I'll have to describe it because I can't really. So at the end of the show,
This is Matt talking, by the way.
yeah. So at the end of the show,
I'm
gonna get trolled again.
because Aaron's.
So Nick Grimshaw announced who was going to win the thing, and James Arthur did 4 songs, and we did 3, so it was pretty unfair anyway. But but he beat us by a couple of quid, and we went, oh, well played. And it's got me. I lean my hand out. James Arthur puts his hand out to shake my hand.
Ah,
I go like that. Grimmy intercepts.
no.
Actually, it might be Grimmy's fault.
No, it's James Arthur's.
It was James Arthur's
Yeah.
fault. Nick Grimshaw puts his hand out as well, and then he goes from me, beelines away, goes straight to Nick Grimshaw. So my hand's there, and I was like, nah, I'm committing. So I kept it out of that. And then when he finally finished with Nick, shook hands. But on the video, it looks ridiculous.
Oh,
So
5 seconds is a
awkward.
No.
It's a long time. So you've got people going, 3 minutes 58. What a knob.
No, I think it's 8 minutes 16.
Oh, 8 minutes 16.
It's around there.
Yeah, I've got
To
it
be
tattooed on my arm.
Yeah. 8 minutes 16. Awkward.
Oh
I was like,
my
yeah, well, but then you've got people backing me up. I've got my own little fan club who don't know who I am. They're going, yeah, but respect to the guy for holding his hand out for that long, you know. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I like this guy. This is the guy. So you've got these trolls, and then people sticking up for him. I'm like, blooming hell, I don't want any of James Arthur's fan base. They're cool, except for this guy protecting.
Yeah, exactly.
They were no one really commented much on us, like as a band. They commented on that, and then I got one comment saying the guy in the denim jackets are well annoying, which was
And I got one.
Very
That's a
fat.
compliment.
yeah, absolutely. And someone said, "Where did the guitarist get his shoes from?"
Thank
You
you.
let 'em
Burton. Burton.
Burton, Boohoo,
Yeah.
Pretty Little Things.
But that's when I saw that comment, I was like, was it like this? Was it, where did the guitarist get his shoes from? Or was it, where did the guitarist
No,
get his
it
shoes
was
Yeah,
more complimentary than Jack actually. Just I'll have to search it, but I was very impressed.
How can you tell the tone though? If it's
No, because it literally said something like, "Oh, I really like the boots that the guy's wearing," or something. It was something like
I
that.
think you made that up.
No.
added that on.
It was an anonymous
No.
comment.
All right, I'm making my
Yeah,
own
he
comments.
said that
Making his
whatever.
own
it's really
comments.
nice and genuine,
No.
and we really, really, really want his shoes.
So, where did it all begin for you guys? Because speaking to you, I know that you're from completely different parts of the country. So,
So
How did
where
it
did it
start?
begin? As a band or individually?
yeah, as a band.
So as a band, we all went to the University of Cumbria, and I don't know why I'm giggling.
It gets hilarious at the end of the night. We all came from different places. So Aaron came from Manchester. Jack came from.
We don't even know anymore.
London.
He was. I told you earlier, didn't I? He's from Chingford. But then he moved to Blackpool, and then he came to Cumbria for university.
What was you studying in Cumbria?
So I.
It's the after eights.
Yes, the
I
after
studied
eights.
musical theatre and drama. Matt studied drama and technical theatre, and Alan.
I know this guy.
Aaron studied.
Are you
technical
really
theatre.
friends?
No.
But we met instantly within, not instantly. we met within the first 4 days. So I met Aaron within the first couple of hours. He walked into my room with a little pair of hot pants on. I thought I could be friends with this guy. I saw Matt walking around with a guitar, and I went, "Oh, I like guitars." And he went, "Cool, who's this weirdo telling me he likes guitars?" And I said, "Yeah, let's
That
have
was
a
it.
jam."
We became friends first 2.5 years.
And me and Matt used to do, so in the band, Matt does a little bit of singing, but also a lot of rapping on a lot of the songs.
Yes, yeah.
So Matt used to do a lot of rapping. He was like, "Why don't you sing the chorus and I'll rap?" So we just did some of his originals, some covers, and then we and then we started as a duo, and then we needed a third member because none of us could really play the vox or any instruments that well.
Yeah, and then obviously we did it right at the end of uni, did a bit of a project, went and did some studio recordings that we explained earlier were rubbish.
We were just friends first, weren't we?
Yeah, and then...
It was great when we were friends back then.
How long
so
ago
we're not
was that?
friends now.
8 years. 8 years.
I think
a
it's
long
evolved
years.
more than this is something else.
It is totally family now. It's
Yeah.
like these two shared a room for a year. So,
18 months. Yeah, we
cool.
remember it. I
mean,
remember every day,
you
mate.
weren't counting every day.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember it. We shared a room for 18 months to save money and rent and things like that. I don't remember. I look back and I'm like, I can maybe remember one day.
Yeah, I blocked that out as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're having so much fun, or
No.
No.
oh, you just blacked out.
Just
that
imagine
memory.
sharing a room with.
Selective memory.
Jack's so messy, right? And I'm really, really
Oh,
tired.
you're starting an
And it wasn't
argument.
like a room where there's like two beds on the other side, and you can have like a little curtain down the middle. There was like a mattress on the floor. And I'm bad. Like when I drink so much water, and I go for wheeze all the time in the night. I just used to step on Aaron.
He didn't like go to the bottom of the bed and avoid me. He just like stamp on me when I'm asleep.
How many
Or
times
like,
did you wake up in the middle of the night and I'd just be playing music?
Yeah, he'd wake up.
Oblivious.
Sometimes he'd wake me up and it'd be about 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd be like, "Aaron, I need to tell you about this dream I had." And I was like, "You fucking kidding me? Like, you can't be serious." He did it about 5 times.
Your dream, so you can tell you about his.
Oh my
It was
god!
a good dream though.
Ah, they killed him.
That was the one with the tiger.
Once he like woke me up to just like tell me he had a bottle of water or something, and I was like, I hate you so much. Like,
Is this turned into a counselling session?
no, we're all right now. We've got our own rooms. We're adults now.
But yeah, so that's
It lasted 18 months, so
Yeah, not our choice.
enjoyed the torture.
yeah.
Oh, we did it.
Our friends, aren't we?
Yeah, lovely.
Now you all live together.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
together pretty much on off. Well, so first year me and Jack kind of lived together. Second and third year they lived together, but like about 40 metres away from me. So we spent all our time together, and then the last 5 years we lived together. So
What benefits has that given you as a band to being all under one roof?
Well, we'd like to say that we rehearse more, but we don't.
money's probably the
Money's a
yeah.
benefit, and also if you do have like songwriting's quite good because if
Yeah.
someone's got an idea, you can just go and like jam in the next room. So that's like a massive.
It's
benefit.
easier to have meetings.
Yeah, we love
band
meetings. We used to when we were busking. We used to take days out so that we didn't have to go busking just to have meetings. It was great.
meetings
And just
about
sit
what?
there, Right, should we have a meeting? Yeah, but should we watch a bit of Jeremy Cole first?
course.
Me and Matt watched every single episode ever of Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. Every single episode. We probably watched every episode about 20 times.
I just remember
Loved it.
the
It
only
was
thing I ever
amazing.
ate back in those days was mackerel, onions, and mushrooms. Remember oak?
Yeah, and you cooked it nasty.
Yeah. I've still got memories of like when you say we just skived off busking. We just used to eat mackerel and mushrooms.
It's a proper band story.
Yeah, we're so not rock and roll. And then I ate the mackerel with the mushrooms.
Yeah, watching Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares.
And eating after 8 in your interview.
I didn't get any of these.
Massively
so-
after
Yeah,
that.
tell us
These are new
what is
things.
the deal with that?
Yeah, why have you got after eights in your bag?
Won it as a prize for looking really pretty today.
Is that why you got the prize?
No, I made a couple of sales in my
Oh, okay.
temporary job.
Well done.
Thank you.
So you guys are working alongside
Yeah,
being
so
in the band.
we used to do just the busking, and then we started picking up more gigs, started earning more money, and we earned like just enough to survive, which was decent. But we all just got well lazy, and then was like, we may as well go and work a couple of days, actually live a little bit more comfortable, and we can invest more in the band. So we
These
picked up a
two
couple of
both met their girlfriends at this temporary job. Yeah.
Not too temporary.
We're not afraid
Oh,
to be
been there,
workers.
yeah.
We're-
No, good.
We're,
Yeah.
you
We
can't,
work
you can't
pretty much
slack.
every day though, don't we? Like if we're not
we're
doing
not
something
doing
band
something.
related.
Oh, yeah,
we
every,
should go
like-
and
Your
work.
workplace flexible like that.
Yeah.
then?
It's
They allow you-
designed for musicians and actors. So
Okay, so where do you guys work? Did you all work at the same place?
these
we
guys,
used to.
well, we used to. I got sacked.
Did you get sacked for?
For what?
I was hanging up on people, so they would answer the phone and they'd go hello, and then I'd go.
Was it
I
like,
don't
was it
really
cold
wanna
calling or
speak to
something?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Wait,
I've
didn't like their
I've been, I've been
Nah, it was
gone
just-
for a
it
year,
was just
and I only
hungover.
found out the other day that there's a rumour in their office that it was because I was chatting up my now girlfriend, so I was hanging up on people to talk to her. I was like,
Who said that?
Lisa. Don't trust
How would
her.
she know?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't,
exactly.
I've never literally.
Yeah.
I've been there. You know, I've been
yeah.
there.
But she's got it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
But yeah.
yeah. Oh, I realise that.
I was going to ask. So, do you think that because you're working temporarily, does it help you creatively with music?
So, in terms of creativity, I think yes, it does help doing
the
this
girls.
work because no,
Oh.
you can keep. Do you want to keep guessing or?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, it's because when we used to go out busking, we'd get home and the last thing we'd want to do is perform, write, anything like that. So when you're working in a job, it reminds you that you need to be
You're
getting
doing it
on
for a
with
living.
stuff. That's how I feel.
Can I
Yeah,
tell them
for
about
sure.
The girls now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the office, there's a lot of girls that work there, and some of the best songs are caused by heartbreak.
Are you all right?
No. I've had sugar for the first time in like 4 days. Someone forced to heartbreak something.
Someone.
No, you're after it.
Yeah, I know. Why do you think they were in a plastic container? So how many songs are based on Primrose, Cross My Mind, Change My Mind?
Hey, where are you going, mate?
Based on girls that we met in this office.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So creatively, like we've wrote songs
Oh,
about
wow.
people we've met in the office.
Well, there you go. Because life inspires.
Yeah.
In
Oh
this
yeah,
same
like, yeah,
office?
five
Probably-
or,
and
yeah,
the-
it's
and the
probably about
best-
5 or 6 of our really good songs are
Yeah.
written about people.
So are these
How-
girls who've dumped you or girls who...
Oh yeah, that's cool. So Caroline,
Caroline.
Yeah. And you know how many songs are about Caroline?
yeah, so
And every time a new song gets
Sweet
released about Caroline,
Caroline. She's
yeah,
not sweet,
I
she's
just
the
send it
devil.
to him. Sorry, Caroline.
Oh, yeah. That's
But
right.
yeah, so there was a girl called Caroline who just was just the devil, really. I hope she hears this. Oh, don't voucher.
Baccarat, she broke your
She
heart.
broke our Jack's heart and then mended it again, broke it again, mended it again. So but then I found, because we'd started getting together with our girlfriends, it's hard to write when you're not heartbroken. So we'd all start basing the songs we're writing on camera. Oh, I've got a good storyline for a song. So I go to Jack, I've got this, how do you like it? He's like, yeah, let's do it. And it'd be almost like remedial, like it'd be like therapy for him. Right, we're going to write this song about her now. So there's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs about her just alone.
So basically, your telesales office is your Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Like these
Keep it in the
two
team.
on the first day he met his girlfriend, he was like, settle down.
2 days before I got sacked, I was sat in a car with these and I was laughing. I went, oh, we are so untouchable in this job at the moment because we were the top sellers.
Wasn't it 5 minutes before you got the email?
Oh, yeah, so I literally, we were in this car. I went, honestly, mate, we are untouchable. I was like, we're laughing because we get so many sales of that. Next thing I went, I've got an email from work probably telling me how good I'm doing. You've got a meeting on Monday. You've breached gross misconduct. I was like, oh, what have I done? So I was trying to rack my brain on what I'd done. And then they sent a follow-up email telling me what I'd done. And I was like, oh, there's no real way around that. And that's what I've done. So I told them I had tonsillitis, which, in all honesty, it's been a year now. It's not true, John Berg. You're going to show him. I didn't have tonsillitis. I just didn't like the customers.
Yeah. Now they get me to recruit for Wakefield because apparently my northern twang is nice, but like they don't realise there's a Yorkshire-Lancashire divide because everyone's southern. They're like, oh yeah.
Oh, they're all the same up there.
Yeah, exactly. They're all the same. Like, and they're like going, yeah, they're all the same from Watford up, and I'm like, nah, they hate me. But I forget that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your music. So who would you liken your sound to at the minute?
It's very difficult. I was explaining beforehand. I was like, we come from 3 very different. So Aaron's very indie side. He likes a lot of Arctic Monkeys, like northern indie bands and stuff like that, Oasis and all of that. Jack's very. He loves Jamie T and people like. So he loves Jamie T, but also like quite big on musical theatre and stuff like that.
Also my pop, I love like.
And you do, yeah, you love a
like
bit of
One
cheesy
Direction
pop.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
literally.
I'm really into my Lewis Capaldi at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
Like
Good
big
stuff.
vocals, James Arthur, that kind of.
Yeah, and then I come from sort of I like the Streets and I liked Eminem and stuff like that, but also like Ed Sheeran and stuff like that. So singer-songwriter stuff. So it's kind of over time, just sort of organically, the musical theatre side kind of brings out the harmony side. So we do a lot of harmony stuff. The indie side means that we want to get more on the band side. So it's there's an indie sound to it, but we have nice harmonies, and then we chuck a bit of rap in. And sometimes we do a song and we're like, oh, that's just us. We're just throwing rap in for the sake of the fact that that's what we're meant to do. So we take it out and carry on. But we're starting to, at the moment, if I may say so myself, starting to write some pretty good stuff that we're excited about anyway. So so it's a merge of all of that, which doesn't really help describe it any better.
No, it kind of does. Have you guys considered like going into theatre or something like that? Because you've got so much influence.
Yeah, I guess the thing with theatre is we wouldn't be able to really do it on a group basis. It'd be on a solo.
Individual.
Is that what you meant?
No, more of like, I don't know, just it sounded like there's so many elements to it, like in terms of like vocals and like harmonies and all that kind of stuff. It sounds quite theatrical.
Yeah, it is quite theatrical, and I think when we put on a show, it's a little bit theatrical, but it wouldn't really work in a theatre.
Or would you like bring theatrical elements to your show?
Yeah,
that's kind of more like it.
Yeah.
Like
basically,
when we do a tour, we're planning.
Yeah, we're planning our tour, and we're planning like obviously we're gonna have a longer set. People are actually there to see us.
Yeah.
After doing so many supports, we're desperate to like put on a show, and as part of that show, we just came off tour with Madness, and like in between
Really?
songs and stuff. Yeah, we went on a really cool tour this summer with them. But in between, their showmanship and the way they talk and the way they
We want to include like jokes and like.
Yeah, I was going to
poetry
ask how
and
much
stuff
of your
like that.
personality comes out in your live show.
Yeah, I think a lot, yeah. People generally, the compliment we always get, which we never know if it's a bit backhanded, is people will always go, wow, that was so energetic. We're like, just compliment us on our voice. You guys are so enthusiastic. You're so enthusiastic, that's so energetic. We're like, what about the music?
Yeah.
Like, but they obviously don't mean it as
Of course,
insulting,
yeah.
but when you hear it so many times, you're like, No one said anything about the vocals or anything like that. But
So what was it like supporting Sir Tom Jones? What did he
That
have
was
to say
cool.
about your music?
that's kind of got knickers thrown all over us. That was
No, Sir Tom Jones, I think he was ill at the time, so he flew in 10 minutes before his set on a helicopter. You couldn't look at him, you couldn't go, because he was ill, so I think he kept himself guarded.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't get to meet Tom Jones, unfortunately, but
No,
his
yeah.
set was still one of the best
Yeah,
I've seen for
I
someone. who's
think
like-
he's the best performer I've ever seen, and that's at 75. Honestly, he's band with the tightest band I've ever listened to.
They didn't get one
And
drink, did
they were incredible, because I was like, surely 75, his voice is going, he's not going to have the same sort of
There's
showmanship.
that note he did in, what is it? You can do me, here's our roll, here's our... Sex Bomb. He goes up the octave, he goes, you can do it, do me. You know that bit? No.
just take our word. It was.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, so going from that extreme as someone who's a veteran in the game, what was it like supporting George Ezra?
Yeah,
I love George Ezra. We all like his music. We listen to his podcast. As a person, we think he's wicked.
It was very strange because it was in a good way. Like it was because it was Emily Sandé and George Ezra that night.
So it's like I don't know how they picked like the two head. Do you know what I mean? They're both headliners in their own right.
Where was it?
Living Festival.
Where's
so
that?
it's up north,
Yeah, it's
near
like
Blackpool.
Blackpool way.
But for Emily Sandé to be on before George Ezra, I was like, I couldn't pick. They're both either. It could go either way.
She
Was like a
came
co-headline?
backstage to watch our set, which was really
Yeah,
cool.
she's one of the nicest
She's
people we've
honestly,
ever
she
met.
was so nice.
Yeah.
Literally like one of the nicest people.
I think we all embarrassed ourselves that night a little bit.
We go at Lytham Festival because we've done it a few years. We get quite drunk,
Mm.
and I think we've all got an individual. So I ended
so-
up singing. So George Ezra's entrance music is the Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And I was back there, and I'm going to Emily Sunday. Going, do I make you horny? Run
Oh,
do I
no.
make you horny, baby?
She was laughing.
Point, and luckily she's like she was actually laughing. So I was like, oh, thank God. But like we were smashed, and then Aaron.
Yeah, mine was just awkward. So I was like, obviously with stuff like the Tom Jones thing, where you're like, oh, we supported one of the biggest people ever in music, and we didn't get to meet him. I was like, I'm not letting that happen. So after our gig, George Ezra got there, and then just gonna go and say hello. So we went and knocked on, having no idea what I'm actually gonna say. So I knocked on, he didn't answer. So I knocked again, and then he answered, and he's just come to the door, and he's got a cup of tea, and he's just like, hello. I was like, hi, I'm Aaron. I was in the Tailormade who just supported you. I just wanted to say hello. And then he's like,
Sounds like an email.
yeah, mate. I didn't know. I was terrified though, because you know when you have like 10 seconds of ballsiness.
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
was me
yeah.
knocking the door.
Oh, shit.
And then as soon as he answers, I'm like, I've lost it now. And I just like shake his hand. And I'm just well awkward with him. And we have the most awkward conversation. And in my head, I'm just thinking, wow, he's awkward. And then I'm thinking, nah, I'm just a weird bloke who's just coming. God knows. And then what did you do to him?
I was so drunk by the time I didn't realise it was after his set, so I come backstage to get some more beers. I come backstage and someone, I don't know, was it you that was chatting to him, or someone was chatting to him and he was by the door, and I just thought the first thing I said to him, I was just so, I don't know, because I was drunk and like, I'd lost all control. He had a blue towel on his head, so I went, "You look like Mother Teresa." That was it. And then
Did not shout it at him about 3 times.
Yeah, I
he
could've
went
shouted
that
it.
close to him.
yeah, and then someone said, "Oh, just so you know, you've left your in-ears on stage." And I was going, "My veneers? Where are my veneers gone? What? I don't even have veneers." So.
And then he told us, and we were like, it was George Ezra's manager, and we were like, he's robbed our veneers. he hadn't. Our veneers were in the office. Our veneers, we don't have any. So
Yeah.
I want to get some.
So that was and they haven't invited us back to the
No.
festivals. No, I'm joking.
I thought it was.
So who was your favourite act to support? Because you've supported a lot of people now. So who was your favourite?
Probably Blue. No, I'm joking.
They're a bunch of I'm joking.
Who would be my favourite? To watch or to meet or to what?
The whole experience.
The whole.
I think I've got to say Madness, just because we went on the tour with them. I think they taught us quite a bit about it, or not like literally taught us, but just watching them, we were like, that's kind of what we want to be. We want real music, real performance, and I think that's why I would say Madness.
I'll say a different answer. Just just to be controversial, but I don't mean this answer. I'm just saying it. But I don't. It's not my actual opinion. I say Busted because it was the first big gig we'd ever done in terms of a crowd.
Was that when they come back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I'd say Beach Boys because I never thought I'd get anywhere near like.
What, for real?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
No,
all
no,
of
not
them,
for real.
like-
Well, no,
Not for real, not for real.
Right, so two died a while back. Two of the Wilson brothers. Brian's doing Pet Shop Boys, and he's touring America, and then Bruce Johnston and Mike Love are doing. They were doing the this one we did. So it was them two. It was the guy from ER. What's he called?
Yeah, I forgot his name already.
John Stamos.
John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Who looks like me.
Who
so-
played, and then the rest of the band and everything else, and they've all done like so much stuff. Yeah, probably Beach Boy, and they were cool as hell.
Wow.
They were really cool. Like we were trying to stand like backstage to watch them, and we were trying to get sly about it. During the sound check, and then Bruce Johnson just came over. He just went, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Get out on stage," and he just like dragged us all out, and he's like, "You can see how you're meant to do it and stuff." And we were like proper in awe.
Wow.
These guys have had so many number ones.
Yeah.
They're like monkeys level. They're just huge. So yeah, probably them. They were cool.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Kind of brings us nicely to the topic of the week, which is...
It's the.
We wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Some Beach Boys.
How do reality TV shows impact the music industry?
That's a very good question. You've
It's
just
a very
asked
good
there.
question. It's
Yeah, very good
almost as if we discussed it before the podcast.
I'm a big fan of the way you worded the question. as well.
Right, should we go? Do you want to go and have a coffee while Jack answers this?
Yeah.
It's a reality TV show. So you've got The X Factor, you've got The Voice, you've got Britain's Got Talent, you've got Let It
Together
Shine,
Now.
All Together Now.
All together now.
All Together.
We were going to be judges.
Yeah, they have 100 people in the audience. Someone comes and sings, and if you like it, you stand up and sing.
It's like it's a big karaoke thing.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
Rob Beckett.
Who was presenting that?
Yeah, Rob
Rob
Beckett.
Beckett,
Yeah.
Jerry Halliwell was in the audience. I think with reality TV shows, and I think stuff like that, I think if you take them with a pinch of salt and remember that they are entertainment shows at the end of the day, it's like sometimes like the Victorian kind of freak shows, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe not.
The X Factor,
I get
sometimes
your
with
point.
some of the acts, like
Yeah.
it's an entertainment show.
Oh,
and I-
yeah, some of the acts are just
yeah,
there
exactly.
purely
And I
for
think you've just got to take
entertainment.
it as a pinch of salt, and you've got to think. And we've done this.
Yeah, but they're not asking about viewing. They're asking
No,
how it
yep,
impacts.
and I'm going to get to that.
All right.
I'm on
Stop
my train of
waffling.
thought. With the X Factor, you got to think about how many years. So I think they're on like season 14 now, and
Something like that.
yeah, something like
It's
that.
that, isn't it?
And you've got to think how many people audition, how many people get to the final. So 12 get to the final. So 12 times 14, that's 164. Quick maths. That's 164 people that have got to the final, and then you've got to think if you had to say people that had done well, you might think One Direction, Ollie Murs, Little Mix,
Leona Lewis,
James Arthur.
JLS.
Yeah.
It's like-
There's a handful. People are still in. I think it can be a great platform for you if you're not so caught up on becoming the biggest thing in the industry. If you are planning to become the next One Direction, that was a bit of a freak miracle. Like
That's right, yeah, it was.
I think
Well,
we
it's
were.
also slightly different to The Voice because I feel like the X Factor is still being more successful in terms of putting talent out there than The Voice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
so-
Voice hasn't really done any.
We were
anything
speaking
massive.
to.
Amazing people on The Voice.
Yeah.
But
not-
I think
but they never really.
Yeah, so we were speaking at the last festival we went to. We were actually presenting as well, and we got to interview Becky Hill, who's pretty much the only person off The Voice who's done stuff.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
right.
she's the only person off The Voice to get a number one. And we were speaking to her about this and about like the graft, but she said after The Voice finishes, that's it. No one's with you, no one's supporting you. So the majority of people, they think they get on The Voice and then it's made. And then she was like, she had to go home for a couple of years. She had to build everything back up. It just so happens that she came from The Voice, but she's like, it didn't help her. She helped herself by everything else behind it. I think a lot of people go on without an exit strategy.
That's the thing.
And you've
if
got,
you... Sorry,
yeah, I was going to say, you've got to remember that with the X Factor, it's run by a label. So the whole point they put on the X Factor is, yeah, they want an entertainment show and stuff like that, but it's the biggest marketing tool. If we get signed to a label, they're going to put us on YouTube, they're going to advertise, they're going to put money into marketing, they might put billboards on, which can be very expensive and stuff like that. With the X Factor, that gets you seen by 10 million people, and it's great. The ITV, The Voice, it's just an entertainment show. Their plan is for viewings and to create a great show that people watch. People aren't too bothered about the thing, whereas with the X Factor, personally, they've never... Yeah, it's a machine. I always believe they've already handpicked their winner or a couple of winners that they'd like, and they go, you know what, these people would be great.
Yeah.
Let's put them through our marketing platform, build them up a fan base, then we can release them into the wild.
Do you not think,
Makes
though,
sense.
that, like, I think it breeds a bit of laziness, not in everyone, but I think a lot of people start thinking, oh, well, if I just go on X Factor, I can do it.
Yeah.
And who is it? David...
Moyes.
No. David Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Yeah, Dave Grohl.
David Myers.
It's David Moyes.
So
So David Grohl said something which I thought was pretty relevant. He said that programs like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent and The Voice and stuff like that, although they're not bad, they are, like Jack said earlier, it's a marketing platform at the end of the day. But it's wiped out this whole kind of generation of people who go into a shed with a guitar, their dad's guitar, old guitar or whatever, drum kit and all this different stuff, and they're rubbish together, and then they get a little less rubbish and a little less rubbish, and they split up and they go into another band, and this is by the time you're 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And then they get into another band, and it's other people who are a little bit better, and some of the others whittle away, and eventually you get, this great music that's really evolved quite naturally.
Talent, yeah.
And now people are like, I'm just going to go on this show, and then when I come off, I'm going to have a label dictate to me that this is the producer I'm using, who's not even using, instruments for the live music or whatever, and this is happening and that's happening. To me personally, it all just seems a bit, especially with kind of, the live music element, it just all seems a little bit lazier now, which isn't a bad thing.
But some people just want to be karaoke singers and be the puppets, and some people don't want. Some people have that voice and that talent, but they don't have the passion or drive or commitment. But there are some great artists out there.
People are just singers as well, so
Yeah.
not everyone would have the ability to play an instrument.
Yeah,
and
but
also it's like,
Yeah, that is true.
And
And I
then-
suppose if you look at Motown as well, you had a lot of singers who had...
I think we met up with we did the songwriting workshop thing once, and Emanike was there, and obviously he's wrote for everyone, and he's insane, and was like, oh, what do you play? He's like, I don't play any instruments.
yeah, because
It's
I
like-
saw Kanye West saying that the other day. It's like he doesn't really play instruments.
Yeah.
he just works with the beats. So I think there's different type of artists as well. So it's understanding that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
But do you think that presents an opportunity for a band like yourselves to come through the ranks?
It's
depends.
hit and miss. Yeah, there's a niche in the market, but the problem is labels love to pigeonhole. They're like,
course.
I don't understand. If they can't understand how to market you, if there's been nothing like you,
Yeah.
I think years ago the market wasn't as saturated, because now you've got Spotify and all these different things.
And anyone
they
can
were-
put a
anyone
song
can
up
put
on
up their
YouTube.
stuff.
And they were more
28,000 songs
they
a
were
day.
more willing to take a
Yeah.
punt. They were like, this might work, let's chuck some money
Yeah,
in it.
exactly. Whereas now they're like,
Especially if
they
you've got
can't-
a live presence and things like that. Yeah.
If they go, scouting for girl, let's say in years to come, they say, all right, Rita Ora's gone now in 10 years' time. Suddenly someone comes along who sings a bit like her and looks a bit like her, and they're like, right, okay, we know how to market that. So
Sure.
we're gonna put her into the studio, we're gonna recreate songs that are exactly like Rita Ora, very similar, and this person, we know how to sell that, we know who to sell it to, what age groups, etc.
Sure.
If they see something a little bit unknown, no one's really willing to take a punt on it anymore. Labels are becoming
the
banks.
audience is kind of dictating what record labels do now.
Yeah,
because
but
I
I
feel
think-
like
yeah.
with artists like yourself who built up your own following,
Yeah.
because of the internet and because of social media, you almost have a level playing field to the point where you can
Yeah.
do
The
labels are
exactly
getting
what the
left
labels are
behind.
doing.
I think
Storms,
maybe,
yeah.
but the issue is, right, you don't realise how much you're dictated what you like, but it's
Yeah,
dictated
exactly.
to you. So,
Yeah. So you
if
think
you're-
it's your choice, but
yeah,
it's
you
not
think
really.
you're listening to Radio 1 and all the tracks on there are on there because of the most popular tracks. But a week before that, someone's gone in and they've pitched all these tracks at the Radio 1 producers. Got nothing to do with the DJs most of the time.
Yep.
But they've pitched all these songs and they've managed to get certain airplay. And it's not necessarily on the sort of song it is or anything else, but it's just dictated to them. And it's the same with...
the charts as well.
But that's the thing, it's the same with like
Also,
so
as a listener,
Spotify
I think-
curators
repetition, because sometimes I genuinely don't like a song, but if
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah,
it
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And you think you like
I'm
it.
like, I hate this song,
it's
and
like
then 2 days out, I'm like,
most of these stations, because I listen to Capital Extra a lot, but then they play the same songs maybe about. I can be listening to it for about 3 hours, and I've heard that song play at least 3 times within those 3 hours.
Yeah.
So then I genuinely don't like some of the songs, but later on I'm just like, it's alright, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
listened
You get
to
used
it
to it.
so
Yeah.
many times. So like you said, I do agree that they kind of dictating.
Yeah, but you just don't even realise. It's the same with like fashion and stuff. Like if you
Yep.
go into Topshop and you see all these things all around, people are going to start buying it. And then when you start seeing other people with it, you go, oh, that's fashionable. And it's the same with music.
Subconscious.
I mean, no one bought this. So I've got a terrible shirt for anyone. But yeah, it's the same concept. And it's the same with like Spotify. Like they create their own playlists and you listen to the playlist.
And if you get into the top playlist, you're being played so much, which is going to put you into the charts automatically. And when you're in the charts, you get even more played. So it's just, and then the thing is, Spotify is controlled by the labels as well as Spotify. I'm not saying they're not, but
And they do a lot for new and emerging music, like Spotify more so than a lot of platforms, which is sick. But yeah, it does affect it. But I feel like as well with X Factor, if you're coming off it, you'll get the Christmas light switch-ons, you'll get
there's
the Pride,
aftercare.
you'll get stuff like that. But like ultimately, you don't get a lot of respect. You have to kind of build that. You're not respected necessarily by radio stations. You're not
And I was going to say that. So I've worked with a lot of artists that have come through X Factor. Yeah, so
sick.
I'm a music producer and songwriter. That have that either been on the show, are on the show currently, or were on the show before. So The Voice as well. But generally, like when those artists are pitched, every like producers and songwriters and stuff, I don't know. There's a bit of a stigma around it because
absolutely because
you wanna back the winners in terms of like the people that are gonna be the most successful. But I don't know. There's a bit of like, is this credible? Should I do this?
You're right because it
Am I
does have.
falling into a
How
bracket?
do you become credible as an artist though?
But this is
Because
the thing,
it's
so
like,
if
for
you're-
example, imagine if you're like you guys, you've been working for what? You've known each other for like 8 years.
Yeah, I've been doing the band for
Doing it
about
for
5
years,
Yeah.
and then you go on the X Factor. Does that take away from your
I
credibility?
think it does. I think it cheapens your brand. And it shouldn't because there's a lot of good people.
To who though?
But it depends
To
on
the general audience, so
what is credibility though? Because they do the stories and everything,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can put in there. We've been together for 5 years. We've
Yeah.
been doing this. We've supported this person, that person.
See,
Surely,
but they'd never
you
show
should get
that.
some
You never
credit.
see someone on there who's
Already
performed at the highest level. So we know Lucy Spraggan as well. Like one of our best friends was best friends with her years before any of that happened. So he showed us all her music all the way through. And then it was like, yeah, she's been picked to go on the X Factor. She'd already released loads of those songs, and she had already done really well off it. Hadn't done X Factor well, but she did really well. And then they painted her out as this person from nowhere.
Yeah, because people
And
buy
it's
into the
like-
story.
Yeah,
don't they?
people-
Yeah, of course
Story,
they
innit?
did.
Yeah.
We saw Only the Young as well, because we used to know one of them. Like, this was years and years ago, so they were in the same competition as these two when we first did.
they got put together, didn't they?
Yeah, so they got put together. They were doing massive shows. They did Regent Street Light Switch on with, 50,000 people there or whatever. And then they were painted out as these 4 randomers who, we're just friends. And they do it with everyone. They're never going to paint you out as an
Yeah,
established
yeah.
artist. And they'll never let you do it.
That's what people buy into, isn't it? The
I
story.
think where the lack of credibility comes, I was just thinking there, because it is an interesting question. I think, obviously, if you say come 8th in X Factor, and then you come off the show, if you're not getting picked up by a label immediately or management or anything like that, the people who tend to watch X Factor, we've done a lot of school touring, and teenagers are very fickle.
Yeah.
So they're looking for the next big thing.
Yep.
And if you're not getting picked up by a label within 6 months of coming off the show, and and these fans are suddenly moving on to Britain's Got Talent's come out now, and then
Exactly,
the
yeah.
next X Factor, people are kind of going, well, you went on X Factor, you didn't do that great. You've done nothing in a year, and it seems to be you get a big impact, and then it's just a bit downhill from there. And then you're that kind of person who's still doing the rounds, the Christmas lights, and
But you're going down the bill instead of up the bill.
Exactly. Oh, that's that person.
Yeah,
who was
because
on
the
there
new ones
3
are around.
years ago, and I think that's where the credibility gets lost. It's not that they're not fantastic performers;
lot are
it's just
amazing.
the fact that they've kind of had their shot and it didn't.
But do you think it's more about playing to your strengths? So for example, like because Rylan, that guy that was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
X
yeah,
Factor.
yeah.
He doesn't even do music. He's a presenter now.
Nah.
He was always a bit of a joke, though, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah.
not in a bad way, but he was always quite
No,
funny.
it was the entertaining.
He
I think
he was a
used it as
joke
a
act,
platform.
yeah.
He knew what to do, and he
Right.
went, "I'm going to take this, run with it."
Yeah.
And you can make a lot of money off
Yeah.
the X Factor and these talent shows because you're building a fan base and you're
Yeah,
building.
but he was literally there as a personality. He was a personality who sang a bit, and then everyone bought into him. So he's like, I'm the brand. I can
Right.
do whatever I want. So yeah, he went into presenting, and I does really well. I mean, I love This Morning. I wish I could work with Phil.
I wonder what it must be like for a person's self-esteem, though, an artist's self-esteem, because it's almost like, so imagine if you're like a one-hit wonder artist. It's kind of similar to going an X Factor, because you've got this one hit that did really well, and no single you've
Yeah.
released has done that good again. But with
So
X
you get
Factor,
a
you're
PRS
kind of
check
like
every
at the
year.
start of your career,
Yeah.
and then you're given that high, and then like a couple months later, you're back to working in Sainsbury's or
Yeah.
wherever
I
you
feel
started
like the
before,
label
and
says-
it must be really crushing as an artist.
Yeah.
The label says no. It's like, well, there's other labels, right? They weren't right for me. Like, there's loads of options. If the judges say no, it's like, oh, these four guys have decided my fate. Or
They
whatever.
can embarrass you though.
But it's
as well.
also
They
because it's
can-
done in public.
Yeah.
But
That's
if
the
you're
thing.
shopping yourself to a label, that's usually in private.
Yeah,
You get to
definitely.
take your L's in private.
Yeah, exactly.
But they can embarrass you. They're not. This is why I prefer The Voice. They're never negative for the sake of being negative. So it's not like a show where they're just trying to get viewing figures for the sake of it. And they're not. But you see X Factor sometimes, and they're just nasty. And it's like,
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran used to be terrible. Like you're just being horrible to someone who might actually make something. And you're just sort of crushing them a little bit. Whereas at least on The Voice, when they don't make it through, they're always really positive, and they won't put people through who don't stand a chance of getting through.
Yeah,
Like
you
they
won't
won't
even
put them to
audition.
the lives. Yeah, they'll just say, "Oh no, it's not worked out," or whatever. X Factor, they build you up, but it is entertainment. It's,
Yeah, it's a TV show
They want
first
people
and
to
foremost.
try, they want that show.
yeah.
Yeah. It must be crushing, but though, because even, like, I don't know how long the show takes in its production. It might be, is it a year or 6 months or 3 months?
Yeah, they try and find people for like 6 to 8 months or something
Yeah.
before.
So something like that. So let's say you were just working in Sainsbury's and then you get picked up on this show. 6 months later, you're performing with Beyonce.
Mental.
You don't win. You don't release a single afterwards. The perception is you just perform with Beyonce.
Yeah, it means
But your
so-
reality hasn't really changed. That
Yeah.
must be really
That
difficult.
whole tour of your area as well. So you go to like your home
Yeah,
county,
Yeah.
and then they put on
Yeah,
this
and-
big
but-
show
but
for you,
I
and
think-
then you're back in like the local zoo. Like that must
Yeah.
literally break someone, because you know
Yeah.
people are not nice.
But you know what? I think if we relate it to us, I think it's not too far away because we went on tour this summer and we supported Madness, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you guys supported Madness." We're like, "Yeah, but we still went to work a couple of days after."
You go, then you quieten down, you do your studio time, you work hard, you get some money back in the pot. Because
But you have that understanding. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if because you're doing it organically
Yeah, I guess
and
a
you're
bit
building
overnight,
yourself.
yeah, you don't know.
You've been doing
Yeah.
this for a while,
Yeah,
but
could.
with them lot who were just
Yeah.
literally just they've
That's
just
why you-
left Sainsbury's. They're not like true artists
Yeah.
in the sense that
See,
you described.
I
So
don't even think it's that. I think, and I know Matt was saying before, it's lazy. I don't think it's like necessarily lazy from them. It's a lazy route in a sense, but they don't know that.
shortcut.
But if they don't know that, they're just like, oh, it's this or nothing. Like
True. Yeah.
they
yeah.
don't know any other. You know what I mean? If
Or if they don't, if they're just talented singers. So say
Yeah.
someone, I'm just genuinely a talented singer and it's something I've always wanted to do. I don't have the luxury of being surrounded with, maybe I'm somewhere far out in the country. I don't even know
Yeah.
other musicians. I don't know a live
yeah,
band.
but I guess that's where you've got to kind of, if you're that passionate, we had to move to London. A lot of people don't have to, but Manchester, London. Like if you're that passionate, I think you need to do the research. How did other people take
Yeah,
this route as
following-
just a singer? How did Beyonce do it? How did
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she was a bad example, but Katy Perry or whoever they are, do your research, find out what it's. Again, I think it is that slightly lazy side of right. What do I need to do as a singer to get to here? Do your research, find out, and get on with it. But
Ironically-
again, with X Factor, there, like you say, if they're out in the country, they go, oh, well, I could do this research and spend a year trying to figure it out, or I can just audition for that. And
Yeah.
Then,
I was going to say, ironically, although X Factor and stuff like that weren't out back then, a lot of them did start on talent shows.
yeah,
In-
so you
in
look
America.
at like Britney and JT and stuff. They had a
Disney
presence.
Plus.
Yeah.
Before they
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's a
It's just
platform,
different,
right?
innit?
And you know what? The X Factor will go eventually, and Britain's Got Talent will go, and there will be more. There will be the next big thing
Something
that
else.
comes. It's opportunity
I
not.
wonder how it's going to play out though, because I don't think a lot of people watch TV anymore. Which I'm wondering if because of
Well,
that,
it's
if
the
it will
lowest rating
change.
since 2004, which was the first series. This series.
Look at
Really?
people like
Yeah.
look at like people like Megan McKenna, right? So she does all the reality TV or Towie and stuff, right? And now she's making it in country. And you look at like
Yeah.
YouTube stars that are now making it in the charts.
Like
And
Cardi B. So Cardi B started off on reality TV
Oh,
as
really?
well.
yeah,
What
so
was-
this
what
is
was it,
thing,
Love
so-
Love and hip hop.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
So-
saying. So it's just it's different avenues to get there. But yeah, you're right. You need a different platform, and the platforms will upgrade. So it won't be X Factor. It will be like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Or it will be like
suppose so,
a
yeah.
SoundCloud rappers
or-
are coming through. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That makes sense. Yeah, because the question was about reality TV, so it's not only limited to
Yeah.
like X Factor and stuff. It's
Yeah.
What if you got asked to do a reality show about your band? Would you do it?
We get asked all the time.
every year.
Every
we get
year
approached
by The Voice
and
and
X Factor.
yeah.
Really?
X Factor Talent.
Yeah.
No, but I meant like more like love and hip hop kind of thing, not a
Oh,
reality
what, a show
talent
based around the
show.
band?
A show about yourself.
Oh, we can. Film
Yeah,
that.
we're well egotistical. Of
Yeah, we'll
course
probably
we would.
take that. Depends
Although
what
they
it
wouldn't
was.
allow us. Like
Yeah.
we're so.
You've heard
Yeah, I
what
mean,
we
you've
said.
heard us just today. Like
we
imagine
would.
Yeah.
No, but I like you because you're just genuinely yourself, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the most important thing. And I
It'll be,
feel
yeah,
like
it'll be sick to see your story,
Yeah.
not like your band life, but then your normal,
Yeah.
not normal life, but a well-rounded
Especially
view
You'd
of
have
your
to
life.
cut. So, they'd have to edit.
That would be
they'd have
jokes.
to edit it so much.
Nah, no editing.
It's just so inappropriate
we
sometimes.
could-
for
we
just
could-
say
kids.
stupid
We'd be
things.
more hated than peers.
Piers Morgan.
No,
Nah,
definitely.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
That's
to
Trump
avoid.
levels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
a band like yourself, how did you build up your fan base? Because you said that you started off without your own songs.
Yeah. Basically, it's
Just
I think
gigging.
so. Yeah, I think half the thing Matt's saying as well. Like, you see people who post stuff. Obviously, we've got a lot of music friends and what have you, and they post stuff like, "You can't play to audiences like this, and it'll have like thousands of people if you haven't played to ones like this, and it's a pub that's empty."
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing. So to get to a
one
point.
fan at a time, isn't it? Really. You
Yeah,
just-
I mean we've played so many crowds where it's just been us and the other artists who are playing that night, or
Yeah.
it's been like Jack's aunties come along or something.
Yeah.
And you've just got to do the grind. And we
And
did
it's
the
weird
grind
as
for-
well, isn't it? Because, I mean, like Aaron says, you do a gig with like 5 other acts. It's these pay-to-play ones where they get you to sell tickets to your friends, basically.
Yeah.
And
If you sell
the amount of
20,
people that come to our gigs now that are other musicians that aren't really we met them like once and they like the music and they like the page, they do become a fan. And there's a guy called Jeremy Allen who we've just had support us at a gig the other day, but he's doing his gig in January, and literally like we're mad fans of his. He absolutely is this Australian guy, absolutely incredible. But again, you know, it's only been on the scene with him, and he is a friend, but I mean, we are fans of his. Like, his music's incredible. So I would pay to see his gig happily. I'd never insult him by sort of asking for a compliment. No, I would. I'd ask for a
Yeah,
compliment.
we should.
yeah. That's a lie. But like, if I didn't know, like, we're talking about Jeremy Allen and just like how even other musicians that you meet, you become a fan, not just a friend. So yeah, even when you're doing those gigs, you know, you just pick people up one at a time. 5 years down the line, you know, if you're doing a couple of gigs a week, you're going to slowly build it up.
It's
It goes
funny
up and
'cause
down.
we interviewed a promoter recently, and he took it right back to traditional marketing because everyone's so focused with online. So, like you said, you can have 50,000 followers on Instagram, but they're not true fans.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
No,
It
yeah.
doesn't actually mean that these
It's the
people are going to come
engagement.
out to a gig.
exactly.
So it's really still about putting in that graft and that grind, and I
Yeah.
think that's what most people miss because everyone expects to be X Factor style, perform
Yeah.
in front of 10,000, but you literally got to do those pubs and
I think when
those
people
gigs.
when people see you live and you speak to them and you actually like have engagement with them and talk to them, that's when they become fans. It's not when
Yeah, they're
when
buying into you.
Yeah, exactly. So when people are liking your Insta and they like your Facebook and they might listen to you on Spotify, it's a very fickle audience. Like, because they don't know you as a person, as a brand. Like they just know this one song you've done or whatever. And I think that's where the difference is, because we had to do it the backwards way, because our music was always rubbish, our recorded music was always rubbish. We had to pick up fans live, and we're not. I think a lot of people get a bit scared as well, but we don't really have any sort of insecurities or anything. we'll be cheeky and tell people. Like,
I didn't get that
"You've got to
impression
come
at
to
all.
gig." No, but you've got to ask for stuff. You don't ask, you don't get. And a lot
That's
of
it,
people
man.
won't ask. It's like, we'll tell you, but like, go and follow us. And we'll like, get your phone out, like, go and follow us now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and we'll have a chat with you and we'll like mess about. If you're on the phone to your mum, we'll be like, let's speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's just
If
having
you give
that
us your
level.
phone for a photo, we'll take a load of selfies or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, we'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
joke around.
It's having that level of engagement, not
Real
just being
engagement.
closed off because
Exactly.
people buy it.
But I
from
think
people, like,
honestly, something we are bad at is we struggle with the social media. Like some of the young kids and stuff like today, great at it that they can build up their fan base. We don't really do it in our we use Instagram and Facebook because we'd use it, but in terms of actually using them as people, we wouldn't as people naturally.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to use it as a band, it's hard because it doesn't come natural.
Yeah, exactly. But then you just play to your strengths, right?
yeah, I mean, some bands can do it and they can go off and not be online and stuff. We're somewhere in between because our fan base is a bit younger. If we had no other fan base or whatever, or if we had the sort of fan base that it was cool to not like social media and stuff, we'd be fine. But we don't. We've got the ones who like social media, and we're just. I mean, I don't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so I can go. Like,
Instagram's good for sliding in DMs, isn't it?
I mean, I don't need to do that. But that's it. So yeah, it's if people want to build an actual dedicated fan base,
Yeah.
you've got to go out, you've got to speak to them, you've got to ask them, like,
100%, man.
tell them, be our fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to our next gig. You might not like our music, but you like our banter, and we'll buy you a drink. And then they'll come to the gig, and you won't get them a drink. We promised everyone on our. We did a coffee shop tour at the start of the year, and we promised
That's
everyone
cool.
that if they came along, we'd buy them a coffee. We bought no one a coffee, but no one wanted to ask us. So
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was too scared. It was like, yeah, we saved loads of money.
yeah, but
Did they buy you a coffee at least?
no,
We got free coffee, to be fair.
They're waiting to be bought a coffee.
I was having about 4 hot chocolates a day. You know what sort of damage that does to your inside?
Yeah.
I was so sleepy all the time. I was taking a little quote round.
He was driving as well.
Yeah, no.
So what have you got planned for your tour that's coming up in October, guys?
So we're just going through the creative process at the moment. We've got some poems and like little bits that we want to
Tell
add
'em
to
what
it.
your poem's about.
My poem is about. I've got a poem called Mr. Green, and
Sounds like it's about weed. It's not.
no, Mr. Green was a maths teacher, and he basically. My mum went to a parents' evening once, and I took my mum. We walked in, and everyone had been like, "Yeah, he's good, but he talks a lot, and he like distracts and whatever." And then Mr. Green, my maths teacher, went, "Jack always sings in class." My mum started laughing because she was like, "Well, yeah, of course he sings. He wants to be a singer. He wants to be a performer." He was like, "Well, I'm glad that you take it seriously." So my mum was laughing. She was like, "You know what? Don't worry. It's only maths, Jack. You'll be all right. You'll be a performer. Don't worry about it."
Aw.
And then when we played Ollie Murs last year, he was in the crowd. And
What, the teacher?
Yeah, the teacher. And there was like a little message afterwards from the maths department saying, "Really proud of our alumni." I'm like, "No, don't you?" So the poem is all about like kind of saying, yeah, well, you can count how many people's in the crowd, and like I wish I knew numbers because I'd say
Ooh.
Mr. Green FU times 100 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a cool little story. But we're still working on the creative process of.
I think many musicians have probably had a similar story.
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
'cause everyone seems to have a story about a teacher who told them you're never going to be anything. And then,
All my teachers tried to encourage me. They were nothing but nice. Yeah.
What in Oldham?
Nah, I didn't really have real
You didn't have a
teachers.
school.
He doesn't have a school anymore.
They wind me
It's-
up because when we was doing school tours, I was like, "Oh, we're going to my old school." I was like, "Really?" And we got there, and it was brand new, and it wasn't anywhere near where my old school was.
Oh, no.
Because basically they'd knocked down my old school, and some of the teachers had gone over to another school, and then I claimed that was my school.
And then the best part was they obviously went. He was like, "Oh, who do you remember?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, that teacher's still here." He was like, "Oh yeah, this guy used to teach him." Someone had obviously gone and told him and said that, "Oh, one of your ex-pupils here." So he went up to Matt and was like, "Hello, mate." And then Matt just went,
No, didn't he say, I'd recognise that face anywhere?
"Yeah."
Yeah, he did. And then
Yeah.
Matt's like, obviously stubborn, he went, "No, you wouldn't."
He was like, "I think you want him."
And then I'm like tapping him on the back going, "All right, mate. You
That's
definitely don't
hilarious.
remember this." Yeah, I think he's lost it a bit. I don't want to name names, but
he was probably just being polite.
Yeah.
So my best mate's brother was still at the school, and he said he's gone a bit bonkers. So I think he's.
They always are the PE teachers, though.
Yeah, I mean, you've just thought.
You're right, you know,
It's been,
about
like
PE
that.
teachers.
Oh, that is. Oh yeah, like he's not got the internet, has he?
Listeners.
All right.
I'm sure everyone's got the internet.
You say
The old,
that.
the old internet.
the old
Everyone's got
internet.
So you're going to 3 different cities. You're going to Manchester, London, and Carlisle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason why you chose those specific? Like, is that where your biggest fan base is? Or?
Well, I mean, you can't do a tour without doing London.
Yeah, London.
And-
Yeah.
I'm more
You can't
thinking,
do a
I'm
tour
more thinking
without
about
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
It was our hometown, so our promoter said, "Yes, stick Carlisle on." It's like it was like where the band formed, so it'll be
Yeah.
quite nostalgic. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you have a lot of fans there?
Fair few. We've done a couple of.
Thought we did.
No, we've done a couple of sort of big events up there. We've done like Cumbria Pride. We've done a couple of the light switch-ons and just general events. And we do a lot at the university still because we're all from there. And they're great with us and they back us and stuff. So I was like,
Cool.
it'd be rude not to. And obviously we're going to Manchester because it's the greatest city in the world. I'm sat with loads of people who aren't from Manchester.
He just got dagger eyes. Like,
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, but you hate London as well, so.
I love it.
So when's the tour kicking off?
October the 10th, Manchester. October the 7th,
17th.
London. 17th, London,
Borderline.
and Borderline, Tottenham Court Road.
There you go.
Standing here.
Yeah.
And October 19th is Carlisle.
Lovely.
So we're excited. So yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And are you going to be playing a mixture of original and
Mainly
covers?
original.
Or
Mainly
or-
original. A couple of
Up our
covers.
sleeves.
A lot of stuff that's on Spotify.
One or two new songs that we've never performed live, so that'll be interesting to see if they're any good. Because you
It's a
never
good way
know,
to
do you?
test songs, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really bad way to test it when you're doing your own tour, but we'll give it a go.
no.
See.
Fresh.
Who's your favourite artist to cover? Because you all seem to have three different.
We don't really cover the
Type
artists
of
we
artist.
like, do we?
No, we cover energetic songs, so we do like Gold Digger, and we do Hey Ya.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the Arctic Monkeys, so I tried to get them to cover Love Machine because Arctic Monkeys did a cover on Live Lounge about 8 years ago or something, and I tried to sort of pass it off as like, oh, it's Girls Aloud,
Oh, right.
and then it didn't work.
No. That's how you trial and error, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Cool.
Do you have any music out?
That's what my question was going to be.
So we released a single about 4 weeks ago called Cross My Mind.
Yeah, we've got a 5-track EP and 2 singles out at the moment, and another one coming at the end of September called Cougar in the Corner.
Cougar in the corner.
Go on.
The office as well.
No.
It's not.
I know it's from nothing.
That's a story for
It's-
another.
That's a story for another podcast.
Yeah.
So when's it out? Sorry.
28th of September.
Yeah.
Cool. So it'll be on all the
Yeah.
platforms.
iTunes, Spotify, all excited.
Just in time for your tour.
Yeah, we should have a
Exactly.
video
Yeah.
maybe a week after.
Has your tour got a name as well, or is
It's
it
called The Tour.
just the tour?
Wow,
The
creatives.
Tailormade.
I'm glad we're doing a podcast with the creatives.
No, there's no tour name.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll
It's our
call it
first one, so.
the tour that flopped.
Yeah,
It
the,
didn't flop.
The successful
The
tour.
successful tour.
Yeah,
The sellout.
The sellout.
something like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Tailormade. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, so where can people follow you online?
www.thetailormade.co.uk. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest. And you can find us at The Tailormade. That's Taylor, not like Taylor Swift, and Made, not like the people that clean your houses.
That's a good description.
Yeah,
Matthew.
you used to say the
Thank
wrong
you.
way, and you used to like, and made like the ones who clean your house. I was like, no.
Not like the ones. Like,
So we usually ask this question at the end of every episode. I don't know where this is going to go, but if you can go back to year 11,
Yeah,
knowing everything that you know now,
yeah.
what would you tell yourself? Individual answers. So the first up is Aaron.
Yeah, mine would be not to get with my ex. Hopefully she shouldn't listen, but yeah, no. I don't
What's her name? Joke.
No, I'm not going to tell you, Jeff. No. No, she was lovely. I'm joking.
Year 11, Mine would be "Don't worry, you will become taller." Because I was proper short.
Yeah, mine wouldn't be.
It was honestly my biggest fear. I was like the shortest in our year, and it's still in year 11. Like I was absolutely tiny until I was about 18.
When did you start growing?
About 18.
Are you just taking the mick out of me or what? I've not grown since I was 15. I actually haven't. I
I
was
know.
the smallest in my year
But
then.
I was
I'm
really
still probably the
worried,
smallest.
and now you must still carry that burden.
Yeah, my best mate was like the same sort of height as me, and now he's 5'11", and we're 16 and pretty similar, and that hurts.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, in all honesty, I would say learn guitar because I didn't learn until I was like 22, like properly. But I mean, I'm still not great. But maybe that's it. If you give us a podcast in 10 years, say what would you say to your 29-year-old self? I'll be like, yeah, still get better.
Yeah, exactly, right.
But yeah, no, that would be my advice to myself.
Cool.
I would say get a haircut and stop eating as many carbohydrates because I look like a 40-year-old woman called Lynn at the age of 16.
Genuinely, I know it's a podcast, so people can't actually see, but you've got to get your idea out.
Yeah. You can base it, anyone listening can base it on your laughter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not your license.
That is Lynn, isn't
genuinely.
it?
That's
The
genuinely.
40-year-old Lynn.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
16 years old. 16.
Bad, innit? It's bad. Mate, we'll show you a full catalogue. Don't worry.
We might have to make
Like,
this
there's a lot.
the artwork for the
Yeah,
podcast.
Put that on your Instagram.
Oh, shit.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
better as well.
It doesn't even look like it actually.
It looks like a 40-year-old woman called Lynn.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I'd say, no, what I'd actually say that was...
Lynn's made you the man you are today.
I'm sorry to laugh at your photo, but
It's alright.
He set it up. He knew he was going to laugh. Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah, is that a good way to end?
yeah, that's a very good way to end. No, my cheeks are hurting, so we can't even continue.
Thank you so much.
No, it's been
I'm going to
hilarious.
send you a photo a day. A photo a day. I've got about 40, so we've got a good month and a bit.
Oh man, there's some bad ones.
Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for coming down. This has been hilarious.
Probably been a lot longer than most.
A bit.
What is it? At 1 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. Thank you everybody for listening. I'm sure you enjoyed that as much as we did. Please review us on Apple Podcasts where you hear this podcast. 5 stars, please. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at For The Creators Podcast and also on Facebook at For The Creators Podcast. And on Twitter, we're _The Creators. This has been such an hilarious conversation. I'm literally just trying to like...
My cheeks actually hurt.
thank you so much, guys. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Success in the world. It seems like you're doing really well on your own anyway, so good luck.
Absolutely. No, it's been fun, man. Cheers.
Cheers.